everyone, this is Pat, storyteller again, coming at you with a new one. As you could see from the title, Cat Love, a romance tale, or The Man and the Cat Across the Way. Today I'm posting a glamour shot just for a different kind of introduction. Welcome back to the people who are so good at coming back to listen to the stories and opinions that I share on this channel. I so appreciate you. I really do. And welcome to any new people who have joined, new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And here we go. The story of Cat Love, a romance tale, or the Man and the Cat Across the Way. Once there was a man who was sad and lonely. He was sad because he felt there was no good reason to enjoy life. He was lonely because even though he lived in a crowded apartment building, he could not bring himself to connect with his neighbors. Before that way of life settled on him, he was at least somewhat sociable. He used to say a pleasant good morning from time to time as he would walk to work each day. He would say it to his regular people on his regular route, to the shopkeeper rolling up the awning at the front of her store, to the retired lady walking her 2 dogs, to the dad walking his children to school. But one day at his job, which he had been doing for years, which he enjoyed, and which was the sole source of his income, he and a number of other co-workers received notices that their jobs were ending. He was devastated because he could not think of what his life would be like without his job. He did not have a mate or children or even a pet fish to turn to for comfort. At the time, he did have friends, but those friends all had jobs and they surely were not receiving notices that they would not have jobs. So how would they understand this devastation? That day of the notice, he and his co-workers all packed their desk items and shook hands and wished each other well and promised to stay in touch, but no one called him at home the first week after the devastating notice, and in turn, he did not reach out. Eventually, he did buy himself a pet goldfish. He went all out and got a nice fish tank, a filter, and some ornaments to put in it. He really went all out. The fish could be his best friend, he told himself, for there was no longer anyone around in his routine to say anything to. But one morning, as he took his cup of coffee over to the fish tank, he could not see the goldfish whom he had named Finn. Finn was nowhere, because he was looking among the ornaments where Finn usually was. But sadly, Finn was floating belly up at the top. The man let out a gasp when he realized what had happened. He left the fish tank and the floating Finn and flopped into his favorite armchair. Finn floated there for days. The man could not bear to go near the tank. Sadness and self-pity rested on him just like the bathrobe he refused to take off. For days it was all he could do just to make himself a cup of coffee. Well, when the weather turned warmer, he would open his windows, and up from the street the sounds of city life would rise and remind him of how he was apart from all of it. He sometimes wondered what it would be like if he just was not around anymore. There was no one to care, to take care of him. He had no one to take care of or to care for. So he thought. But across the street, in an apartment at the same level as his, he took a look one day as a light flashed in a window there. When the flash cleared from his eyes, he distinctly saw a pair of cat eyes staring back at him. The cat's eyes gave a slow, specific blink that seemed to say, "I see you." And in his sadness and loneliness, this sad gesture touched the man, so he kept sipping his coffee and staring at the cat. This staring seemed to continue for hours, because by the time the man looked away, the sun was setting. This surprised him. He thought about this phenomenon for a while. The next day, again came the flash, and again the cat, again the blink, and again the gaze, and again the man was transfixed. This continued for a while, until one day, when he went to the communal mail room to collect his usual raft of bills and store flyers. Along with the usual mail, he found a postcard with a picture of a cat on the front. He flipped the postcard, and the note on the other side said, "Hi, man who lives in the apartment across from mine. My cat has taken a deep interest in looking at your place. I want to let you know in case you have noticed and it is concerning to you. My cat was pretty sad for a while, but something about staring at your window day after day definitely has lifted his spirits, so I hope the staring doesn't bother you. In case it does, please let me know. Kind regards, Chris." The note included a return address. He read the note and smiled, perhaps for the first time in a year. The man looked at the picture of the cat on the front of the postcard, and it stirred a strange feeling in him. Suddenly, it was not enough to have a staring contest with that cat. Suddenly, his loneliness grew stronger. He felt he wanted to adopt that cat. He thought about writing back to the owner and asking about adopting the cat. But he decided that the owner probably wouldn't agree. Day after day he sat at his window, staring stares with the window cat and pining for ownership. One night he dreamt that the cat leaped across the chasm of the street below and into his window. He dreamt that the cat jumped into his apartment, walked over to his armchair where he had fallen asleep, climbed onto his lap, and curled up comfortably. The man dreamt that he gently laid his hand upon the cat's head and felt the softness of the cat's fur. He dreamt that he heard the cat's soft purring. put his hand under the cat's chin and felt the soft, rhythmic roll of the cat's purring, and he felt content. When he woke from his dream, he felt even more that he wanted to have that cat in his home, but he knew it was not reasonable to desire someone else's cat. So he thought about getting a cat of his own. He took a trip to a local pet rescue center and looked at all the cats, but none stirred his soul in the way that the cat across from his window did. He actually went home and cried. He felt so sad that he stayed in bed for 3 days. On the 4th day, when he went to his mailbox to check for bills as he did regularly at the end of the month, he found among the mail another note, again from Chris, the person who had the cat across the way. The note said, "I hope you are well, because my cat has not seen you for days and is becoming unhappy. Here is my phone number. Please call if you're okay or away. My cat is becoming sad again." The man had mixed feelings because he knew how much he wanted to adopt the cat. He felt talking to the owner would just make him sadder and more envious. But the feelings were too burdensome, so on his way up in the elevator, he changed his mind and made a decision to call. He went back to his apartment, looked out the window, and there was the cat across the way, staring. And then their eyes met. The cat blinked slowly, as if to say, "Finally, you're back." So the man called the number in the note. The voice on the phone answered with a smile in it. The man then explained that he was the cat's window friend. He said he had been away. Well, it wasn't technically a lie, since he had been away from the window. And the smiling voice asked if he would like to meet the cat in person. He gasped at the offer and said yes. The next day, there he was at the door of the apartment of the window cat. He knocked gently, and when the door opened, there was the owner, Chris, holding the cat. The man looked at Chris and the cat, and all of the eyes met in this one magical moment. All 3 pairs of eyes, and boom! Love at first sight. And you know how that ends, that all 3 lived happily ever after. Okay, I've added one of my card readings, guided by spirit card readings at the end of this video, just for fun. So the audio is a bit quiet, but you will be able to see the actual writing on the card. So stick around for a couple of more minutes and take in a positive message for today. As always, thank you for coming back. Thank you for joining the new people. I'm so happy to see new people coming in. That's great. And leave a message if you'd like a comment to say how you experience the story. I'm very happy for your company. Thank you. Stick around. Easy does it. Easy does it. I hope you can see the wording on this. Easy. Easy does it. I hope it shows up. Easy does it. Yeah, that's a nice message, isn't it? I think so. There you go. I hope you can see it says easy does it.